I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Bold and the Beautiful edition. All right, guys, today is Wednesday, June the 28th, 2023. On a scale of 1 to 10, Liam did a wonderful job. Like, at the end, he did a wonderful job. So I'm going to give this one, um, I guess I'll give it a 6, 7. It's 6.5. All righty, let's get into it. Now, it's a lower rating because why did they have to show Brooke and RJ? I mean, come on, y'all. They show Brooke and RJ. They're having this conversation about how magical it was. He's happy to see her, the smile on her face that only his dad can put there, and he's happy that she's happy. And of course, he wanted to stay out of his parents' drama, but who doesn't want their parents to be together? So he's happy. He's excited that they're back together, but he wonders. Okay, before he gets into that, he says, you're acting like all of this happening was just magical. And she said it was. He saw me in a keyhole. And so then they have flashbacks. I said, baby, we don't need flashbacks of something we saw last week. Like, she's not telling him about a story that happened 3 years ago, or something dramatic has happened and now yeah, this happened last week. We didn't need that flashback, but she's telling him and they flashed it back, and he's just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy y'all together. I'm so happy for this." He said, "But what about Taylor?" And she said, "Well, Taylor loves him." She was like, "I admit that. I know she loves him. But it is what it is. She betrayed me by talking crap behind." Well, she didn't say that, but that's what I heard. She betrayed me by talking crap behind my back. So I don't owe Taylor any loyalty. That's what I heard. And RJ said, "Well, if she loves him, this has got to be really hard for dad, what he's doing right now. And it's probably breaking her heart. Her heart." So that's it with them, y'all. That's enough. They got too much little time, anyways. So then we go over here and we see Ridge and Taylor. And I said, "Oh, God, he's still over here talking to her." And so they're talking, child. I had to write notes down for this because, I love me some Taylor, but girl, let it go. She just like, "I can't believe you're going back to Brooke. She's gonna hurt you again." He don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. I know people are not fan of Brooks. Um, some of y'all are not even fan of Taylor's. You just hate Brooke. Like, I'm not like that when it comes to this. I might not be a fan of Brooks, but I don't really care that she's with Ridge. And Taylor, you shouldn't either, because this man at the end of the day does not choose you, girl. He does not choose you. And so she's telling him, I knew it. I told you how I felt when you were going to Rome, and I told you Brooke was going to manipulate the whole situation, and she was not truthful to me on y'all the how deep y'all feelings were going. And I said, "Taylor, I see what she's trying to say. I see how they trying to, because I've been saying, what is it that Brooke did that you know of to betray the pact? And for Taylor, it's that obviously y'all were on some deeper feelings than I knew of for y'all to get back together like this. And so she didn't tell me how she was feeling about you. But I thought it was understood that y'all both still loved Ridge and y'all both still wanted him back, but because of the pact, y'all were staying true to each other. Because quiet as kept, Brooke really didn't start pushing her feelings onto Ridge until after she heard you talking bad about her and trying to push her off the Deacon. Now, Ridge was the one who wasn't truthful to you, quiet as kept. And if you want to just tell the whole story and tell the truth and shame the devil, Ridge didn't tell you that I was kind of wanting Brooke, because the way you poured your heart out to Ridge, Brooke did the same thing. And he go over to Rome and have this romantic moment with her, and he's with her. Like, he chose her. And he knows how you feel about him, girl. He understands how you feel about him, sis. He knows. He still chose Brooke. And she tells him she does not understand how he can put himself in this pain over and over again. And I said, girl, you should. You do the same thing to yourself. Do you not put yourself in pain with Ridge over and over again, knowing you're not his first choice ever? And then she tried to bring up she slept with Eric. She slept with your brother. Then she said, well, you know what? I slept with him too. But I didn't have a baby. But I said, that's neither here nor there. You were sleeping with other people and you could have easily had a baby by somebody, but you just didn't. So let's not go there about, oh, she slept with this person and slept with that person. And I like Taylor really. Brooke is all right to me, but I like Taylor. But I hate when she acts this way, like bashing Brooke is gonna make Ridge want you. He knows how Brooke is, and he still wants to be with her. So the question is, why do you want to be with a man that wants to be with somebody like that? Why are you wanting to be with them? And she said, that's the last thing I'm gonna say, because at the end of the day, I want you to be happy. Then stop talking bad about the woman he wants to be with. I would have liked it if Taylor would have been like, you know what? I respect your decision and I wish you nothing but happiness, and just kept her thoughts to herself to try to save face, because you're just bashing Brooke and bashing Brooke. And trust and believe, I get it. I understand why you mad and everything. But at the end of the day, what they say, it could even if it wasn't Brooke, it would still wouldn't be you, Taylor. I'm just being honest. It still wouldn't be Taylor. He's proven that over and over again. Like, I don't even know why you want him. He left you on your wedding day and didn't even tell you he was leaving. Why do you want this man? But child, we're gonna move on because unfortunately later in this week, well, Thursday or Friday, Taylor supposed to run over there and confront Brooke. Why you want to do this, I don't know, but we're gonna move on. So then we go to Steffi and Finn, and she tells him that Hope and Thomas kissed, and he said, what? So Liam was right. Thomas did want Hope. She said, child. It was Hope that kissed Thomas. And he said, oh my gosh, what is Liam gonna do now? And then Steffi thinks back to when Liam kissed her, and I said, I don't know if you should tell that, sis. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because it wasn't a kiss as in he wanted her. Liam was just hurting in that moment. But I don't know if she should tell that to Finn or not. I don't know. Let's move on, because child, Steffi's so honest, so she probably will. She probably will, but she'll probably explain that he was just in pain and it was hurting and it wasn't that type. Like, it wasn't a kiss that Hope gave Thomas, what Liam gave Steffi. He was just confused and did something stupid. So then we go over here to Liam and Hope, right? And I said, Liam, if you don't be getting your passive aggressive stuff self out of here with this, like, confront this girl. He better than me, because I can't hold it, baby. If I'm betrayed, if I am being betrayed, I got to tell it. I got to let you know that I know, and you're not gonna play me for a fool. But he holding it, and he just telling her, so how was Rome? And she was like, um, she was asking him about his luggage and everything. So he was like, tell me more about Rome. And she was like, well, I want to talk about, like, so you were in Rome? He was like, yeah, I wanted to surprise you. And she was like, surprise me? He said, yeah, I wanted to come to your show and surprise you, and I missed it. And he was like, but I don't want to talk about that. Tell me about Rome. And she said, but I want to talk about your trip, and why didn't you see me? And he said, I didn't say I didn't see you. I said, oof, you are holding this baby and torturing Hope. And so he said, tell me about the trip. She said, well, I don't know what else you want me to say. The show went good, and everyone loved it. He said, so everyone loved you and Thomas. Everyone loved y'all previews. And y'all know I'm about to paraphrase all this. He said, everyone loved y'all previews and everything. And she was like, yes. But I'm home now and I'm happy to be home. He says, so what'd you do after the trip? And she said, uh, after the show, she was like, we just, I just, he said, did you sightsee? And she said, yeah, I went sightseeing. He said, who you go with, your mama? Carter? Because he knew she wasn't going to go with Steffi. He said, Carter. And she said, no. He said, who you go with? Baby, she don't want to say Thomas' name. She doesn't even want to say his name. I said, girl. And so he told her, she said, well, I want to talk about why you didn't say anything. He said, well, I wanted to surprise you on the trip. And when I missed seeing the show, I wanted to see you and maybe, have dinner at this little place. I can't remember what he said. And she said, I would have loved that. He said, really? Yeah, you really would have loved that? Or whatever, cause and I said, Hope, you digging yourself in deeper. Because at this point, you can see her mind is working and she knows what he knows, but she don't want to say what she know he knows. Because I guess she feels like if I deny this and I just don't bring it up. Sorry, I had to get Mila's lunch out of the oven. And if I just don't bring it up, then maybe he'll stop this. But he said, no, I'm not gonna stop. So he tells her, where did you go? What sites did you go see? And so he started listing off all these sites, and he said, no, 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 you would have went to the Coliseum and saw that. And she was like, oh, I wish I could have did all this with you. He said, maybe if you did, things would have been different. So she's figuring out what he knows, but he's still not telling her. And she said, Liam, I don't want to talk about Rome anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore. He said, no, no, I want to talk about it some more. And she was like, no, I'm done talking about it. Let's just, I'm home now. And that's all that matters. I'm with you and my family. And you're the most important things to me. And that's all that matters. Because she really wanted him to sweep that under the rug. But he did not. Um, and so he tells her, he done and she was like, I don't want to do it anymore. And he was like, I'm done talking. It's time for you to explain. And she don't want to talk about it. And then he finally tells her, I saw you. And she was like, what? And she was like, who did you go with? Who did you go sightseeing with? And she will not say Thomas' name. So he finally says, I saw you, Hope. I saw you with him. So say it with me. Say it with me. And I was like, what? And then Liam got all aggressive and angry and upset. And I said, you gotta act this part, sir. And he was like, say it with me. And she would not say it. He was just like, say it. I kissed. And she still wouldn't say it. And he was like, no, 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 say it, Hope. Say it. And I said, oh, Hope, say it. Say it, anime. And so he was like, say the name. And so finally she was like, I kissed Thomas. And it was almost like she whispered it. He said, no, 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 say it louder, say it louder. And she said, I kissed Thomas. And she crying and doing all this. And she supposed to beg Liam to forgive her. Now I know some of these people are in my comments and y'all were like, I don't feel bad for Liam. Look at all the stuff he did with Hope and all that. And now she kissed somebody and he don't want to be with her anymore. Listen, I always say this. You can't get mad at somebody for having standards, expectations, and boundaries. It's not his fault that Hope kept forgiving him for what he was doing. And he says, no, I have expectations, standards, and boundaries, and you're not going to do it to me. That's not his fault. That's Hope letting him get away with it and then going back to him. And now she wants him to forgive her for all the stuff that he's done. And he's saying, no, 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 no. I'm not you. I'm not you. My standard and expectation is that you will be faithful. And my boundary is that if you're not faithful, you can't be with me. And that's what he's saying pretty much because he told Steffi and Wyatt his marriage is over. So I don't know. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. A lot of people on this show need to get it. Like Taylor, yeah, Taylor, now you know you're my girl, but like at the end of the day, you set no expect you nor Brooke set expectations. Cause y'all should have said your children are grown. There's no reason for you to have a relationship with the other person. When Ridge was with Brooke, he didn't really have to be all over with around Taylor. Cause at one point during that Christmas time, during the last summer, fall, he was married to Brooke and all that, trying to work his marriage out, but he was all up in Taylor's face, flirting and stuff. But y'all let him do that. So now he's like, okay, I choose Brooke. And Taylor's upset about it, which I understand, girl, but at the end of the day, he wasn't gonna choose you. He was never gonna choose you. Y'all, that's enough with this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow for an all new episode of What Happened on the Soaps, the Bold and the Beautiful edition. Thank you for watching.